Good, whatever time of the day it is you happen to be listening. This is the P&A Podcast Express coming to you recorded from the STD, the Silver Tavern in Deckerville. I'm Adam Filkins. With me, as always, is Phil Nickel. And, boy, what a show we have lined up that we don't know what we're bringing you tonight.
Yeah! Our pre-show meeting went so well that I'm excited about this show.
It was so fast when you don't have one.
My pre-show meeting consisted of, I think I'm on my fourth or fifth pint of PBR.
Yeah, I'm on my second or third, and I'm down a basket of fries and wings.
Wingies.
Wingies.
Adam wanted wingies.
Wingies.
And Adam's been taking care of business, so I've been sitting here left to my own vices. So I've just been drinking beer and staring at my microphone.
Well, there's worse things you could do. I'm not sure what those are, but
I don't know either, especially in public, I guess.
Well, you know.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
You nailed it. You summed it up right there. So any gear grinds? Anything? I know you got gear grinds.
I got a whole sack of them, but we'll digress.
You got a whole sack of gear grinds, I can tell.
Yeah, just, ready to just totally grind up gears.
You probably got some karate kicks to the crotch, too, huh?
Yeah.
Do you have anything for my friend is a dick, and here's why?
I've got a whole bag of dicks, too.
Oh, eat a bag of dicks.
Oh,
Still
boy.
a T-shirt I'm looking for, by the way. There's a Dick's Drive-In in Seattle's, well, famous there. They've got a couple locations, but that was their slogan, and they had a T-shirt that just said, eat a bag of dicks.
You know, there is Johnson's Meat Market that has we want our meat in your mouth.
That's always, and then I remember in Michigan here, Farmer Pete, you can't beat Farmer Pete's meat. That's what it said on the side of their trucks. Do you remember that?
I do.
You can't beat Farmer Pete's meat.
You know, there was a... I just derailed. Totally derailed.
Nice.
Wow.
Normally that's my department.
Yeah, what the hell?
What's going on here?
Well, when you carry a big bag of dicks,
dicks and kicks
gear
to
grinds,
the crotch and gear grinds.
and they're just slapping together.
They're just slapping each other all.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Just getting angrier. It's
Sure.
making the dicks angry. It's making the crotches angry. It's making the gear grinds angry.
At this point, it just sounds like a big bag of broken glass.
Oh, wait. There we go. That's the one I was looking for.
One. Yeah.
Wow, I'm a terrible producer.
You had a 25% chance of getting that right.
And I got it wrong.
Yep.
At least I didn't hit this one. Oh, wait. We're fine.
At least you didn't go this route.
I love that drop so much. That's my favorite drop that we have.
That is pretty cool.
So, any emails this week?
I don't think so.
By the way, you can email us at Tuscolapalooza. No, I meant a PNA Podcast Express at gmail.com or pineapple nipple arsehole at gmail.com. Yes, that's all one word, pineapple nipple arsehole at gmail.com. Or if you don't want to type that in, go PNA Podcast Express at gmail.com. And Adam's checking the email right now. And how about that video we did with the Old Guys Rockin', though? That released this week.
It did, and it was a lot of fun to do, and probably even more fun to watch. Eric did a great job.
He did.
Editing that and putting it all together.
And we've also put together, we're going to do a podcast with Eric and Mike from Old Guys Rocking.
Yeah, coming up in the near future here, we'll be doing one.
That ought to
from
be
the
fun.
Tiki Bar.
From the Tiki Bar. It'll be
Yeah.
Tiki.
The
Aloha.
the west side.
The West Side.
With Saeed.
Last time we were there, it rained cats and dogs. So, it's
Yeah,
all
it looked like it was going to get pretty nasty, but the
nasty.
the Vassar Vortex
The
kept it from
Vassar,
happening.
the Vassar Vortex. That's true. It's a weather phenomenon known as the Vassar Vortex.
So I do have, I'm going to be taking over the announcing duties for a
You said
local
duty.
Yeah. For a local high school football team. The last person that did it for like 29 years or
Yes,
something like
let's
that.
just say that they are called, their mascot is the Redskin Potatoes.
Yes, and I've got big shoes to fill with that.
Even though you wear size 13s?
Yeah, and he probably wears significantly smaller shoes, but they're still really stretched out and going to be tough to fill.
Yeah, very stretched out. It reminds me of my love life. It's always stretched out, and I can't fill it up.
Even when it's not.
Even when it's not. We don't have any guests here tonight because I guess no one cares.
Yeah, we're flying solo.
No, and we're boring. Oh, I'm boring solo. I
And
guess.
we're 5 minutes in. Is that good enough?
Yeah, that's good.
Is
I don't
that all the
have.
content
I've run
you
out of
can carry?
things to talk about.
You know, I had a whole list of things.
I know, but
and then
you've had a few
like,
things come up.
Yeah, and then the shit just started flowing. So
I was feverishly texting people today, being like, "Hey, do you have any like topics for the podcast tonight?" And I texted like 8 people, and no one cares. It was just crickets. Chirp, chirp.
we could just do 2 quick trips, like actual quick trips, like
Like 15 minutes each.
yeah.
And be like, "Huzzah!"
There you go. There you have it.
There you have it. This was just amping those numbers up for episodes.
Yeah, just because we got a schedule here.
No one cares
Speaking of which,
of quality content anymore.
what day was it? The October 9th
October 9th
that we decided would
be the 100th episode.
100th episode. October 9th, the 100th Saturday.
Yes.
It is the 100th episode extravaganza-thon.
Extravaganza-thon.
Yes,
First annual.
yes, in celebration of Chris Mahana Kwanzaa.
You got it. Chris Mahana Kwanzaa to us.
Yes,
You got to get Festivus in there.
yes, we will have aluminum pole here and a airing of grievances.
Oh, the airing of grievances is my favorite part. I've got
to,
lots of problems with lots of you people.
I used to be good with the feats of strength, not so much anymore.
Not so much. The feats of strength are just, we're terrible.
I'm here.
I'm here.
That's a feat in itself.
It's the agony of defeat.
You know, 6 wings go down pretty easy. 40 chicken nuggets, not so much.
Oh, Lord. We don't have a food challenge tonight.
Well, you did bring jerky.
Yeah, I did bring jerky for a taste test of jerky.
Yeah.
We,
Well, biltong.
biltong, yes. Still waiting. Dried and cured meats, remember? Or smoked. Dried, cured, or smoked meats. That
Yes.
was the policy, wasn't it?
Yes.
Or any meats, preferably beef. I mean, we did. Remember when we buggered off and tried turkey?
I could always have the wife make up some pot roast.
I see what you did there, and I love it.
Actually, her pot roast is pretty damn good. So.
She doesn't listen to the podcast anyway.
No.
It's beautiful because Mary loves the podcast and she supports us all fully. But she says, I'm not listening to that shit.
No. She's like, if I want to listen to you guys, I would try and talk to you.
She has to ride to and from events with us, and she's just like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah. She's a saint.
she really is.
I mean, there's not a lot of people who would be like, yeah, I don't listen to what you do, but go do it.
Just go. I don't care. Just go do it. Does it make you happy? Yes, go do it.
Yeah,
See, that's a good relationship, though.
It is.
She just says, I don't care about it. I don't like it, but does it make you happy? Yes. All right, go do
Yep.
it.
She's like, I'm completely apathetic about it, but you go do what you got to do.
It seems to make you come back in a better mood most of the time. I mean,
Yeah, this might be the exception to that rule, but boy, I'm not a good producer either. I hit the space where the button wasn't about
I
3
see
times.
that. I'm like, what the are you doing?
So October 9th,
October 9th, go on.
is that going to be approximately 7 p.m. kickoff time?
Yeah, I think 7-ish.
I think 7-ish is good.
We're
yeah.
not going to do 4 hours this time. I mean, you never know. Last time we were only going to do like an hour. We're like, we should do an hour, maybe 2.
If they got those shots, we might be 4 again.
4 hours later.
4 hours later.
People are still talking. How the fuck did you get a 4-hour pod? I don't know. It just sort of happened.
I think we had to split it into 2 parts.
At one point, I was just drunk hanging out at the bar watching everybody do the podcast.
Well, we will have to try a live.
Did you see what I did there?
I did, and I'm going to need more beer. Should I kill it and then bring it back to life?
Yes. I've trapped a fly underneath the beer pitcher. There you go. Boop. Remember the first night we did that? Sprinkle some salt on it.
Yeah, nobody believed me.
No, and it did. It started twitching and itching, and there's the fly, and there it is. He's already prancing around. Look at that.
Salt is amazing.
Salt. It has healing properties.
It is obvious to me that you cannot have too much salt in your diet.
It's good for the heart.
Yes. Good for the soul.
It's good for the heart. Good for the soul.
You're welcome, fly.
It's salt is like the anti old country buffet.
Which we went down to Port Huron Saturday.
Yeah.
Which was I'll go into this rant in a minute.
Tell a story. Tell us a story.
So
Hercules.
we're driving by, and I'm like, oh, look, there's Old Country Buffet, and it's just an empty lot now because it's gone. Mm-hmm. And everybody's like, even though I'm like, you guys never wanted to eat there because you thought the chocolate fountain was gross until we got there, and then the kids had like their hands in it.
They take their shoes off and their feet are in it.
Yeah. They're sitting on the second rung with their feet in the bottom rung,
dangling it,
dipping marshmallows and strawberries in it, just eating it like they're Greek god.
Pound cake and shit. Like,
hey, give one right trick or treat.
Their butts actually
chocolate.
Sitting in the chocolate that's flowing, just like.
And we think it's chocolate still.
Hooray!
Oh, those things are just a germ fest.
Nasty. Nasty. I think that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think the days of the buffet are definitely numbered with everything going on in the world today. They've always been kind of nasty, but here's the thing. Anytime I've ever willingly went to a buffet, I was really drunk. And it seemed like a good idea. And it was. Although the Chinese buffet back in college, that was different. College is different, though. In life, when you're in college, you want to get the most food you possibly can for the least amount of money. Just because that's college.
Let's face it. If you're doing the Chinese thing, you might as well do a buffet because you're eating cat and you're not discerning anyways.
Meow.
Yum, 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 yum.
No more cats, Chang, until you pay up.
I want meow.
Meow. I love the I love the fortune cookie that just says that wasn't chicken. Oh no! So anyway, you probably saw on Facebook, I had a memory that I just shared of me rolling the tractor.
Yes, I did. And
I want to talk more about that. I don't think I've ever told that story.
No, you have not.
So, my first summer out of high school, I got a job with the road commission. And they always hired kids that were either, going off to college or college kids for the summer as a summer employment thing. And I suppose they were thinking, these kids are in college. They're going to be, they're not going to be yippity yahoos. They're going to be upstanding citizens.
Little did they know. Plot twist.
3 hours later. Yes. Little did they know. You can. There's volumes. There's college courses on little did they know, or little did he know, or little did she know. I broke a lot of shit that summer for the road commission, and it culminated in the ultimate of me rolling a fucking tractor into the ditch.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing they did have the roll bar.
Yeah,
I mean, because
old Philly might not be here today if it weren't for the roll
it
bar.
didn't look like it went on its top, just on its side.
It went on its side, and here's the story. So I had gotten into some trouble at the end of my high school life.
Really?
Yeah. And it could have been big legal trouble, but thankfully the people had mercy. They could have pressed charges, and ultimately it came down to 7 people voting, and 4 voted not to press charges, and 3 wanted to. That's how close it was. Yikes. So I had a debt to repay. So for the summer after high school, I was milking cows, I was working for the road commission, and I was roofing. And that's why when I graduated high school, I weighed 230 pounds, and when I went to college in the fall, I weighed 187.
So were the roofies the reason why you rolled the tractor? Oh, you were roofing.
No, rails.
Roofing.
It was rails. I love that line from the end of the rails. Oh, it was rails. And how Eric conveniently put that in there after I interviewed Flint Santa and asking him about how he keeps his energy up. Rails. Oh, it was rails. Like I caught that. I'm like, that was the best edit ever. So anyhow, I'm out mowing ditch banks, and I was already on thin ice because they thought that I was suspect as far as being a good person, which, it's debatable. I mean, I like to fuck shit up. I think we've established that.
Yeah, well, you have a flamethrower.
And I've never purposely hurt anyone.
No.
Never purposely hurt anyone.
No.
But I like to fuck shit up. So they watched me like a hawk all summer. And we happened to be mowing the roadside on a road just outside of town. And I went to turn around, and I popped out halfway into the road and stopped because a car was coming. What was the town cop here, just out for his jaunt, apparently 4 miles out of town because it's your tax dollars at work. which that son of a bitch is dead now, which, fuck him.
Okay.
You know, he was an asshole anyway when he was alive, and he's probably still an asshole wherever he is, hopefully burning in hell. But anyway,
Very likely.
I almost pulled out in front of him, so he, you know, kind of skated by, honked the horn. So I get the tractor stuck about 2 hours later on a ditch bank because I hit a gopher hole, essentially, with the front tire. And I stopped because I have, you know, I drive things. I drive. I've driven everything from tractors to any vehicle you've ever mentioned, to anything on the water, to belt sanders, to
Okay.
Yeah. I've driven a space shuttle. I mean, I was only like 9 years old, and it was at a museum, and it was a simulator, but I landed.
It was one of those
fine.
that went in a circle at the fair?
Yeah, it was sponsored by KFC. Yeah. So anyway, but hey, I completed the mission.
Same.
Yes, but so I talked to the guy who was mowing with me because they always send us out in pairs, and you know I'm somewhat of an intelligent person, and I said,
Yep.
This tractor's teetering on the edge. I need to pull you to pull me out because if I try to do anything, it's just going to roll. And I said we need to hook it up high, like hook it up on the the drawbar, the 3-point hitch, raise it all the way up. That way it's less of a pivot point.
Yep.
Pivot point is what we call that, folks. That's basic science. That's a lever, okay? The guy that I was driving with insisted we needed to hook it to the drawbar, which if you know anything about tractors, the drawbar is one of the lowest points you can hook to right behind the fucking thing. And he went around and around with me, and I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'll get on the goddamn thing. You hook it to the drawbar. We'll see what happens. Because, as I said, I like to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
So he goes to pull me, and lo and behold, within 2 seconds, the fucking tractor just starts to roll.
Oh,
so
boy.
I had a roll bar there. So I basically covered my face with my hands and pressed it up against the roll bar and rode it out. Well, I just remember that one of the guys that lived nearby, he's a good family friend and everything, he was out there observing the whole thing, and I just remember him yelling my name after the tractor rolled because I needed a second to collect myself, so I didn't pop right up surprise. I sat there and made sure that my shorts were still in somewhat non-soiled condition, and I sat there for a good couple minutes, but he was just yelling, and a couple other people were just screaming, oh my God, and I popped up. I'm like, I'm fine. I knew it was going to happen. I was braced for it. So then that motherfucking cop comes out with a gentleman who had worked for the county for years but had retired, Roy Goheen. Fuck him. I'll say his name on air. He's dead anyway. And the first thing he said to me is, oh, these guys were screwing around. I knew this was going to happen. This is a police officer and a gentleman in his probably 60s at the time. Not, oh my God, are you okay? It was, oh, they were screwing around and we knew this was going to happen. And I pulled out the line that I always pull out. Fuck you, dude. And I said, I wasn't screwing around. And then the other guy, Jeff, who was there, the family friend who watched the whole thing, is like, no, they weren't screwing around. They were doing their job. They were just trying to pull the fucking tractor out. And so I said to both those guys, I'm like, you know what? Just fucking get the fuck out of here. And, of course, by then the county had come and they brought the big truck to pull it back up on its wheels. And the only thing, and, of course, the big boss who read me the riot act before I even started, it said, I don't want any shit from you this summer. You're a bad egg. You've caused all this trouble, and you're a felon practically and everything else. He asked me, he's like, dude, you can take the rest of the day off of it. I said, fuck no. He said, does it run? Yeah. Fuck you, then. I hopped in the tractor, drove it to my mom's house, which was half a mile away, pulled it in the yard, fixed the fucking mower, and I finished my goddamn day mowing. And I said, fuck you and fuck all you assholes. And that was the story of that.
Well, let it never be said that Phil doesn't fix what he fucks up.
That's right. I always fix what I fuck up. I unfuck what I fuck up.
Yeah.
So, but Roy Goheen was the guy who, my grandfather, one of the best men you will ever meet, one of the most religious, one of the most faithful men you will ever meet. He worked for the county for 47 years, and this guy always made fun of my grandfather because at lunch, my grandpa would stop his truck, eat his lunch, and read the Bible every day. And he made fun of him for that.
Really?
Yes. Yep. So you know what? Fuck him.
Yeah, that is.
And then
pretty
he's the one
shitty.
that came out and accused me of, these guys, I knew it. They were screwing around. He almost pulled out in front of me earlier, which I did, but I stopped, and it was accidental. It wasn't me screwing around. I was concentrating on mowing the roadside, went to turn, saw a car, stopped, plenty of time.
Didn't expect to see a cop 5 miles out of town.
Right. A town cop, right? Oh, I like to go look at the ducks. You like to look at the ducks on the taxpayer's dime.
Yeah.
Who's the fucking bad guy here? So anyway, like I said, we pulled that shit's back up on its wheels, and I kept mowing the rest of the day. There was another guy that worked for the county, too, at the time that accused me of some other shit. His precious daughter smashed up her car, and he accused me of doing it because that night we were at a party, and I moved her car from up front to, like, back behind the barn at the place we're at, and the next day there was a dent. A big old dent in it. And I didn't cause that, because trust me, I would have known if I hit something.
Yeah, you'd have fucked it up, not just dented it.
Right, you goddamn right. I would have fucking
rolled
smashed
that
the
shit
shit
in
out
the
of
ditch.
it. Yeah, smashed that piece of shit and then walked away.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And so he accused me of that. So he already thought I was a fucking bad piece of shit, whatever. So the one day he was out with me and he drove the truck and we were putting on cold patch, which is that I always said the line, they're putting that shit on the road again. That's the shit you drive through goes,
yeah. Sticks all up in your wheel
like
wells
they're
and
putting
shit.
that shit on the road again. We loaded up his truck, his big old truck. It was almost 100 degrees that day. And I put on just by myself, more than anybody else had ever put on, a crew of 2. I put on 4 ton of cold patch that day myself, while he drove the fucking truck all day. And he kept saying, holy shit, are you okay? I'm like, keep going, keep fucking going. You want to call me a piece of shit and say I don't know what hard work is? You sat in the fucking truck all day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a little bit of whatever there.
So
My time with the county was not good.
it does not sound like it.
And it was. I had fucked up. I fucked some shit up, but I repaid every dime. I made everything right. And I worked my fucking ass off to make sure I did that. And here we are.
And, you know, for a Sand Lake County kid, that's more than most would do.
Yeah, absolutely.
The
and then
vast
I went
majority.
And then I went off to college, paid my own way, and got a fucking degree. And here we are. So
Sitting in Deckerville, doing a podcast for free.
drinking beer for free.
Wah,
Why don't we go put some of that shit on the road? Why don't we go roll a tractor?
So my oldest son had a...
But how many people can say they've rolled a tractor? Pretty fucking badass.
Well, a lot of people can't say shit after doing that, but...
That's right. Most can't. You're right.
And yet,
Here we are.
Phil rolled a tractor and died. And yet he survived.
Do you see my shit-eating grin on my face in that picture?
Yes.
But of course, I'm 18 years old and weighed, like I said, I weighed about 195 then.
That's why I was like, who the hell is that kid?
Right? That guy was dead sexy. He probably could have gotten some fucking ass back then, but he didn't.
Yeah, I imagine the dudes were lined up.
Oh, everywhere, dude. You don't even know, man.
So my oldest had, I don't want to say a similar situation, but
Right.
you know, he's busted his ass all summer, basically digging trenches for a sprinkler company down. They work a lot down in like Rochester, where people can afford sprinkler systems.
Right. Or want to take care of their lawn.
Yeah. So he recently worked for somebody, and I'll let them remain nameless. But he recently worked for somebody, and they basically said afterwards they didn't pay him squat,
Right.
and then said, well, he obviously has never worked outside before. And in the meantime, he's covered in poison ivy because they sent him into basically a poison ivy field
Hooray!
and said, hey, pull that stuff. Yeah. And he actually had to get a steroid shot and is
Right.
on steroids. For,
Because of all the antihistamine,
Right.
histamine, and all the histamine.
and so, yeah, he started back to college this week and is supposed to start wrestling practice.
But he's on the roids.
But he's on the roids. And which will, I'm sure, give him no benefit whatsoever. But
Right.
but yeah, he that kind of pissed me off.
That pissed me off, too.
You know, it's like, I know the work ethic he has. He's not a college athlete because he's lazy.
Well, you know the whole reason why I do as much as I do. When I was a kid, my aunt on the farm called me lazy over and over again. So I've made it my life's mission to make sure no one can ever say that about me again. So
I've made my life's mission to have fun doing whatever the hell I'm doing.
well, I'm working on that. Oh yeah.
So, like, even at work, I had a meeting today. And
Your work seems like I want to come work with you, but you're like, no, Phil.
No.
You just said your mantra is you like to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
I don't think Lyndon's paying attention.
do you want a postscript to that story?
Yes.
So, not a postscript, but a subscript. This is more of a subscript. So, the guy who, like, I dented his little princess's car, apparently. She was like the girl that I like just had a huge crush on in like middle
Obsessed
school.
over, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. And beautiful. She's beautiful. She's just gorgeous. Even now today, like I saw her in a grocery store the other day and I'm just like, how the fuck? Holy shit. But anyway, she married a dude and I got in trouble for, some shenanigans, some theft and stuff like that in high school. I was working for a gas station and I was stealing, skimming off the top. Got caught, paid it all back, whatever. Her allegedly, this is allegedly, I can't say this for sure, but I have in good faith that this is good information. Her husband, apparently was grifting one of the local co-ops because he's a farmer for hundreds of thousands of dollars and never got in trouble for it. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Mine was a couple of cases of oil and maybe $1,000,
So we had an interesting, when I used to work in banking, and I'll keep the bank confidential. There's still a lot of people that work there that I like, so
allegedly
I won't sell them out. So a bank that I used to work for, we hired a loan guy from another bank,
right,
an ag loan specialist. And one day, a couple of times I had calls that I had to go
right,
seal off computers.
Yeah, we talked about this offline before. Well, off air. Sorry. Yeah.
So I got a call, and hey, you need to go over, and there'll be some police involved, and you're going to have to, make sure that they get what they need. And the least likely person that you would ever see getting any kind of trouble is being hauled away in cuffs.
Isn't that wild?
And super nice guy, just easy going. The odd thing was, a week after he was arrested, and it was found out that he'd done a bunch of bad loans, and
right.
Basically he was giving loans to people that had no intent, big loans, with no intent to pay them back. And, of course, it's not illegal to receive a loan, so these people...
it's not illegal. They didn't do anything wrong.
No. They just never intended to pay it back. He never intended for them to pay it back, so...
But was he taking a percentage back then in his own pocket? That's where the crime comes in, right?
Well, here's the really funny part. So, a week later, his wife starts working at a different sector of the bank.
Red flag.
And making... she really didn't do anything. She had no qualifications to work in the department she was working in.
Right.
And then he started... When he got out of jail, 2 years later, he started working for a different sector of the same company.
And they let him work for the bank again?
No, not for the bank.
Oh, a different company. Okay.
So, owned by the same people, but a different company. So
putting two and two together, they were in on it also, and he was the fall guy.
Yeah. So
there you go.
Apparently, he'd kind of done the same thing at the other bank.
Okay.
And there was a lot of people that were from that other bank that were at this bank.
Okay.
And so I think there was some well-known, hey, we need somebody to do something. You do this. We'll take care of your family. And you serve some time and you come back and you'll have a cushy job. Because
it's the classic story.
He had a badass office upstairs. It was upstairs of where I worked.
Right. And that's what it's aided me. I have a shady past and I used to fucking lie, cheat, steal, do all that shit. But it's aided me in spotting that now from a mile away, especially working in bars and stuff. I can tell you a crooked bartender that's pocketing money almost right away because there's patterns and you see things and you can tell. And I can walk into a bar and be served by a bartender and be there for an hour and be like, you're stealing money from this place. I can tell right now.
You better give me some of that, or
you better give me a cut, or I'm going to blow the whistle. God damn it! I'm going to blow the whistle. We never had the dog whistle challenge, by the way.
No.
We talked. Let's bring that's a callback. That's an 85 episode later callback.
Yes, I believe so. So, yeah, there's nobody that can't say that they've got something in their past. I mean,
and I will tell you, and you know me, I'm always full transparency. Every skeleton in my closet, I will talk about freely with any of my friends, anybody I know. I'm ashamed of it, but I've also paid my debts off and repaid them.
Yeah, and I think anybody that has faced up to what they've done, I mean, I never got caught.
Right.
But if I'd have gotten caught, holy fuck.
Oh, man, I'm talking about just all the shit I got caught for. But, yeah, there's so many other crimes. But like I said, most of them were victimless crimes. or there was a victim and maybe some financial loss, but not a ton.
Right.
We're not talking about anything like thousands of dollars. We're talking
Right, you
about reckon something that cost $50.
Right, you didn't ruin anybody's life or
No.
anything like that. But yeah, there's stuff that I look back on that me and my friends did that it's like, holy shit! If we were caught doing that now,
right,
we'd be on seriously, we'd have been put away.
Dude,
there would be no.
If we grew up, and I know you can say this with 100% certainty also, if we grew up now where everybody's carrying around a fucking camera and we lived like we did back then, we'd be in prison.
Oh, God,
I'd be in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be in Gitmo.
Yeah. They'd lock me up, throw away the key.
They'd be like, what you're getting out through Afghanistan, boy.
That's right. What are you in for? Everything.
I'm in for all of it.
That's right.
I was all in. So, yeah. I definitely have like a teardrop tattoo and like one of those spider webs on my elbow.
Oh, yeah. I'd be macrameing shivs.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be watching Martha Stewart to get all the prison tips that she's got in her shows
her and
now.
Snoop Dogg talking about
Yeah.
it. Isn't that the crazy part? That's a great meme right there, and I don't know if anybody's ever made it, but Martha and Snoop have done shows together, and they're great together, by the way. But just to be like, which one of these is the criminal? Guess which one of these is the convicted felon?
No shit.
9 times out of 10, they ain't guessing Martha Stewart.
No. And like, man, Snoop lost a lot of street cred being like a football coach and like,
oh, I know,
being all that with his kids.
And you know what? I bet you if you were to ask him, he's like, I'll tell you where you can take that street cred. You can put it in my vault with millions of dollars and I'll be okay, right?
Yeah, well, when you can buy the street, you can have the cred.
That's right. Bitch, I bought the street.
Got the street, motherfucker.
That's right. I don't need the cred no more.
Yeah, I got the shizzle.
What does that street say? It says, for shizzle my nizzle.
Yeah.
And what's the next street over say? Snoop Dogg.
That's with the D-O-double-G.
That's right. I love Snoop. I love Calvin. Calvin's amazing.
Yes, absolutely. And,
if you're out there listening, Calvin, come on our show. We'll have you on.
Yeah. And pay for Steve Gutenberg to come
We'll
along
even
with
smoke
you.
weed with you.
Yeah. Like I say, bring Steve Gutenberg with you.
Bring Goot. We know you and Goot are fucking tight.
Hell yeah. I do got to say, I saw a clip the other day of Michael Winslow from the Police Academy movies doing like sound effects. He used to be much better.
Here's the thing that scares me, and I know it's going to happen. As you get older, like right now, you and I, like when you push your voice and it's got that strength to it, when you get older,
Yes.
you lose that. You actually lose that.
Yes.
I've had times when I'm not able to get my voice out there right now.
And then the next step is to do Schneeberger's commercials.
See? Schneeberger's in Kansas City.
I can't even get through. Schnee.
That zesty queso sauce. It's not going to suck itself.
I held it up to him earlier. He totally denied me.
Bad Linden. I'm going to take your vape away. Where's the beer? These guys some beers? Holy shit!
I'm sobering up. This is going to be terrible. Terrible radio.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you.
I'm lucky I still have like half a glass, but you've been dry. I'm so dry.
My the bubbles on the side of my glass are starting to just stick to it like a residue.
The ghost of beers past.
I've got residue, goddammit!
What kind of monkey wrench business are you running here?
40% of your clientele right now
Are
is
thirsty.
Do you see this? Do you see it?
Oh, come on, baby. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry.
I kind of feel like I should rub his nose in it when he comes over here.
Come over and be on the podcast. What's that?
I kind of feel like I should rub his nose in my empty glass when he comes over here.
Bad Linden. Bad Linden.
You got a rolled up newspaper anywhere?
Fuck.
God
Somewhere.
damn it. Next time.
Next time. On the next episode of the P&A Podcast Express.
Man, it's got really boring since we got out of beer.
Well, I know. Beer is what fuels creativity. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
About damn time.
Here we go. All right. To illustrate, I am now pouring a beer for Adam.
Spilling.
I spilled a little bit, just a droplet, and of course, giving him all kinds of head here.
Jesus.
Look at that head. That's a good 4 to 6 inches of head right there.
In a 5-inch glass.
With no gag reflex. In a 5-inch glass. I got 6 inches of head in a 5-inch
Well,
glass.
it was sticking a good inch above it there.
Skills, baby. Skills. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. You know. This is terrible. This is, how can I'm losing my touch. I'm not as funny as I once was.
Oh, dude, you've never been funny.
Gay!
I don't like the dick, but he's got a point. That's funny. That warms my heart every time I hear it. That just
Tuscolapalooza!
Tuscolapalooza!
He actually sounded like...
Did you see my interview with that? My interview with that guy was. Do you see me just staring off into space like I
Yeah.
don't give a fuck at all?
Dude, I noticed that when I was filming it, and I'm like, oh, man, what a...
I was doing that on purpose, right? Uh-huh. I over-dramatized my disinterest, didn't I?
No, I think you were genuinely that disinterested. I mean, he didn't even have makeup on anymore.
I know. Like, I wanted to interview Kiss with fucking makeup on. That's why
And you'd have settled for those guys with makeup
right,
on.
well, for those dudes with makeup on. But instead, is it painful for you to do this interview without your makeup on right now?
I'll be honest. Ace Frehley,
Yeah.
even the thick white makeup couldn't cover up the liver spots on that guy.
You got it.
He was 130 years old.
At least.
I mean, he would probably go on HBO and be like, "Hey, Crypt Keeper, you're a good kid. You're a good kid."
So we should have Detroit Rock City on our podcast.
We should.
We'll give them as what's his nuts would say, a web redemption.
Yeah, we'll put as much energy into your interview as you put into the show.
Performance. He almost lit me on fire, for Christ's sake.
The best part was listening to the person who introduced them say, "I go up there, you wanted the best, you got the best, it's Kiss, it's Detroit Rock City." He introduces them with all this energy, and then they're tuning their damn guitars.
Ding, ding, ding. It's fucking great. Tuscolapalooza!
Tuscolapalooza!
Holy shit! Oh my god. Do you realize the coaching I got before that interview?
Dude. Yes, I do.
I was told I couldn't say the word suck. I couldn't say the word low energy. I couldn't say the word shit. I couldn't say the word what the fuck. I couldn't insult anyone's mother.
No, do not talk about the errors in the performance.
Don't talk about the missed notes. Don't talk about the. Oh my!
No, I know the coaching you got,
but I think I pieced that interview together very well. I think.
Well, the beauty was so right afterwards because he's like when Eric comes up, he's like, "Phil's going to interview these guys," and like didn't even give me the option at all. And afterwards, he's like, "That wasn't a slight to you. It's just I had a talk with Phil."
A long talk. Which I love you, Eric, and yes. And shockingly, for as inebriated as I still went through with his wishes very well, didn't I?
You did very, very well. You did very well. We were well behaved on the after show as well.
My only slight was my disinterest in my eyes as I gaze into the abyss while he's talking.
For all anybody knew, there was there was naked bitches behind over there. They were behind me.
Oh, shit. No, wait, that's not gay. There were bitches.
Oh, shit!
That's the one I was looking for.
That one's over here.
So let's just say they're a Kiss tribute band called Detroit Rock City, and there were hoes all over their dressing room. Their VIP lounge, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't think any of them were there for them, but...
No.
Although that tall redhead they had,
dude,
the stage manager...
I mean, she was worthless, but
Yeah.
nice to look at.
Was she the one setting off the pyros?
She was set off some of them, yeah. The pots, yeah, she set off some of those.
Because
Yeah.
she almost killed one of them.
I
Just
know.
so everybody's aware.
He said he fucking lit his fucking
Oh, the headstock was just
headstock of his guitar.
smoldering. Just and he's like not playing the guitar for a minute, and then he like touches it like, oh, is it still hot?
Like a monkey discovering fire.
Ba-boom.
Oh, man. Yeah, so if you haven't checked out that video, go to the Old Guys Rocking YouTube page.
We shared it to our Facebook
I know,
page,
but-
too. But definitely go to Old Guys. Well, you have to go to Old Guys Rockin' YouTube page to view it from Facebook.
Right.
Go there, subscribe to that.
And tell your friends, please. You know I plead this all the time. Teamwork makes the dream work. We need to network. Just tell your friends about it. We want that video. We want to give them the PNA Podcast Express bump. Right now it's at about 160 views or so. Let's get that up to like 500 or 1,000, right?
So, like, they have a video out there of short time life.
Yeah.
It
Get off of my
frickin-
lawn. Yeah.
Yeah. Freaking hilarious.
It is funny. That one has a lot of views.
That one has a lot of views, and for good reason, because it is funny as shit.
It's very funny.
And it's well edited, well done. They recreated all these songs.
Eric,
so much work.
Eric is a maestro. Like, Eric is fucking great at what he does. Like, he's a perfectionist, which I appreciate. But his edits, even on the video we did, his edits are just fucking masterful, man.
Yeah, he did a great job. We went and recorded on Tuesday night. Thursday, when it's released, I'm like, what the shit?
So that just shows, what that shows me, and I love you, Eric, is that you were enthusiastic about getting it out because it's good. Because it's good content.
He's probably like, finally, two guys that look worse than Mike and I.
That's right. Two guys that make us look great.
Yeah. We look old, but not that old.
Like, no, we look old. Those guys look shitty. Although your phone antics were amazing. And I don't think a couple of your really good ones didn't even make the cut, I don't think.
No, I had a couple that were...
Yeah. I guess, I'm not going to lie, full disclosure. I fast-forwarded through most of the content where we're interviewing the bands and such and just watched the last...
Well, we kind of lived that.
I watched the first 6 minutes and I watched the last 20 minutes.
Seriously, watch the whole thing.
Okay,
sometime.
I will.
Like, I mean, it's
See, here I am telling listeners, asking listeners, not telling. I don't tell anyone anything. Except for my phone number, 9895. Never mind. I'm asking our listeners, please check out the video. Please.
It's 55 minutes and 38 seconds long.
And it's funny.
And the whole thing is good. I mean,
there's some good... The thing that I love is Mike and Eric, God bless their souls, they don't do improv. And we do improv. Everything we do is
Right.
improv.
But
and it was
they
new
did
for them,
well
but
to
they
roll with
hung
us.
with us. They hung right
they
with
did.
us.
They did. It was a ton of fun.
Like,
I mean,
like they even knew that this was our game, and they hung right with us, like toe to toe, man.
well, they stepped into our world
Yeah.
without fear and did well. They
So,
did well.
Vis-a-vis, and we asked them, like, please be on our podcast, and they agreed. So we're going to have a podcast with the Old Guys Rockin' too, and they're going to video some stuff and put on their channel. And this is cross-examination. No,
September 12th is the day.
Cross-examination, no, cross-pollination, no, Polynesian, no, cross-promotion, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yes. Cross-dressing.
Cross-dressing, ranch dressing, Rancho Cucamonga. No, that's not the word I'm looking for. Oh, God. Yesterday I went to
El Rancho?
Yeah, El Rancho.
Did you get Quazo sauce?
Oh, no, dude. How did you know where I was going? I got the Runny Ranch from DQ the other day. Holy fuck. You don't like Runny Ranch?
No. I mean, the flavor's great, but I like something that sticks, too.
We can no longer be friends.
Just think how good it would be if it was just a little thicker.
The runniness is the best part.
No.
The waiting is the hardest part. Okay. Do you know exactly? We've been doing this podcast together way too long, though. When you know exactly what I'm thinking and where I went to eat. When I just said simply the other day I went, and you're like, "Did you get the zesty queso sauce?" Yes, it was DQ.
Well,
you motherfucker.
you said DQ.
Yeah.
You said the other day I went to DQ.
Okay.
So I didn't have to read into
I
that.
had it.
Oh, maybe I heard that.
No, you heard that in your head. You tuned in to what's in my brain.
Steve Cook, you need to Cookie. You need to settle this argument because I think I thought you said.
Wait a minute. We're sending this to Cookie. Cookie, official review. All right, official review, Cookie. We will give you 20 seconds to officially review. Hold on. All right, I lied. 10 seconds. That's it. That's all you get, Cookie.
There you go. Now, that didn't help because it's pre-recorded.
Oh,
but,
shit. You're right. Watch him text me, though. Phil, you didn't say DQ. Remember that night he texted? He's like, holy fuck. It's insane.
Does he hide out? Is he in the pool table?
He might be. He put a microphone in the cheese grater.
You know, just in case anybody wondered, Cookie is a pretty phenomenal guy.
Oh, he's amazing. And I love the enthusiasm and the love he has for not only our show, but for everything. Like Thumb Tailgater.
Entertainment.
Local media. Thumb Tailgater, as well as even the radio station. Like, he follows everything we do on the radio station for Sound Like Broadcasting, for Thumb Tailgater Sports.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, check us out on Thumb Tailgater Sports also. You'll hear Adam's voice. You'll hear my voice. Adam did some commercials, and yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done a game yet this year, and
You'll get there.
I will, but
I've already done a couple.
Yeah.
With JB. Oh, I forget our listeners know JB. And Mike Smith, and of course Eddie Fury, who refuses to come on our podcast. Ashley's also part of it. Ashley's been a guest. So, you know, we don't just all sit around and talk about things at the old STD and drink beer. We actually do things that are productive to society.
What? Huh?
Holy shit. That was painful to say.
And probably not true.
It's a trash can, not a trash can.
We both went Pee Wee Herman voice.
This has been a very... This podcast is all sizzle and no steak right now. I don't know. My story about rolling a tractor wasn't too bad, but I don't... Are you emailing somebody?
I'm actually... I just sent Eric the Tuscola Palooza drop.
Tuscola Palooza!
Tuscola Palooza!
Not for losers!
Actually, Eric believes it is September 8th. It's a Wednesday we're going over there.
Wednesday?
A Wednesday.
A Wednesday. Well, tell him I'm game, because let me look at my calendar. Yes, I'm available that night. Joke's on you, I'm available every night. Normal exclusions apply. Send a self-addressed stamped envelope to P.O. Box 23456, Deckerville, Michigan 48427. Care of Joe Mama. Remember the days of a self-addressed stamped envelope?
Send a self-addressed stamped envelope to The Price is Right.
This offer available to everyone. Just send a self-addressed stamped envelope to... Holy shit. You know, it's the ghost... How many different iterations of this show? We've done so many, like... We do jerky tasting. We've done challenges. We had J.R. Jupiter as a correspondent for a bit, which he's going to be back. He'll be back.
With S.A. Saturn.
With S.A. Saturn. Yes. So J.R. Jupiter should do a bit really soon. You know, I'm going to give him an email. Maybe next week. J.R. Jupiter should talk about something.
He probably should. I mean, he's got to have some material built up now.
Ouch.
He's been time hopping like a fucking madman.
I mean, right now he's got the juggernaut set up right now that if he blows his load, it's just going to be all over everything.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be a lot like the Scary Movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like when he came on stage and yelled, Tuscola Palooza!
Look at Lindley sitting up there waiting in the bullpen
He's in the bullpen.
to come in and get the save.
Here we go. Little did he know, they all could have come over and just hopped on right now. We don't give a shit.
Yeah,
It's not like this is good content.
no, we got open microphones and
They're just sitting here.
lots of holes.
They're just sitting here flaccid and unused.
Yes.
Come stroke them. Come get them up, you know?
Mine's not flaccid.
No, mine's fully erect. Did you hear about the man who...
Yours is bigger than mine, but it's got a hook to the left.
a little hook, a little to the left.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the man who choked in a Viagra?
No.
He died of a stiff neck.
Terrible producing right there.
So a man walks into his doctor and says, I want a prescription for half a pill of Viagra. And he's like, half a pill of Viagra? Sir, may I ask you why you want
That is peculiar.
half a pill? Is it because you want to satisfy your wife? And he says, no, I just want to quit pissing on my shoes. There it is.
Are you walking in with Matt to the doctor's when he goes in? Is that
Yes, Matt's like a half a pill of Viagra.
just bought me some new kicks? Don't want to piss on them.
I got them latest kicks from Nikkei.
I got me a set of them Nike Monarchs like all the dads wear.
I'm going to mow the lawn in them next.
You ever go in, like, I'll tell you what, years ago I bought a pair of Nike Monarchs just because I wanted a cross-training shoe.
Of course.
Holy shit, the most comfortable thing you ever put on your foot. Can't bring myself to wear them for casual, just like walking around.
Right.
Because, that's, when I do that, I will actually go get Viagra and, like, probably other old Centrum Silver.
So I have a friend in Seattle, and he insisted he wanted to give me Viagra because he says if you're vital like we are and you take a Viagra, you just hammer all night long. And I said, well, I love the idea, but here's the problem. What am I going to hammer on? My fucking hand?
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe-
it's just going to interrupt my sleep cycle at this point.
Maybe he wanted to go around with you.
Perhaps. No.
Gay!
That's very astute.
I only said that so I could play that drop.
I know you
without,
did.
like,
Which I hope you're
with
still
purpose.
listening. I gotta get a hold of some of my friends in Seattle and see if they still listen. I want to have my buddy Drew on here. He's the guitarist for the band Buffalo Preacher, and they're going places. Like they're starting to get airplay out there on radio stations in rotation and things like that.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm talking. Look at me! I'm talking an old timey radio lingo. Starting to get rotations.
It's like you're at WTGV or something like that.
WBGV
No, WTGV.
and WBGV.
BGV is country.
Oh, WTGV. Playing the greatest hits of the 60s, the 70s. I forgot what came after the 70s.
What was their name again?
Buffalo Preacher.
Oh, that's right.
Buffalo Preacher. So I got aced out of School of Rock again this Saturday night because Eddie's going on vacation. He's like, I'm just going to pre-record it. Well, thanks a lot, Eddie.
Lame.
Ha! Lame!
Gay!
I keep getting... Oh, wait. Remember I told you the story about the softball tournament thing? Co-host is all he sent me. Like, I thought I had done great, and I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
You or I would never do that to each other. Like, if they just said, like, host of the podcast, PNA Podcast Express, I'd be like, that's fucking great, buddy. I wouldn't just send you back co-host. I'd be like, we're going places because we're a fucking team, and I get it. If one of us succeeds, both of us succeeds.
Well,
And that wasn't my choice. Like, no, but you also know if I were to, like, interview for something, I would, of course, mention that you're my co-host. But this was put by a third party in the paper. I had no bearing over it, you know. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It just happened.
Well, and are you not a host of the School of Rock?
That is correct.
So, Eddie never listens to this, so I don't mind saying, things like this. Well, that wasn't what I expected. That wasn't what I expected either. I expected that to be way better than that. I should have. That's the hell of not planning.
Once in a while, it works out great, like when you find the PNA podcast on YouTube. Oh, good Lord.
Let's see if this one works out any better for me.
In a stunning turn of events, a superhero is being sued for f***ing someone who apparently didn't want to be f***ed. The plaintiff, Oliver Sansweet.
Mr. Sansweet didn't ask to be Mr. Sansweet didn't want to be and the injury received from Mr. Incredible's actions, so-called, causes him daily pain.
Denied? You're denying my claim? I'm on fixed income. And if you can't help me,
I'm sorry, ma'am. I know you're
I don't understand.
By the way, I love the fact that...
Has Dash done something wrong?
he's a disruptive and he openly me in front of the class.
I love the fact that whenever I pull up my YouTube channel I'm signed into, one of the first videos that always presents me is 10 straight hours of farting noises.
That is pretty fantastic.
See, here's what I like to call it. Here's a segment I like to call making algorithms your bitch. So I've typed into the search engine the word fart enough in my YouTube account that it knows that the first video it's going to present to me is 10 hours of farting noises. And it's the same for YouPorn and Pornhub, too. Like, when I sign in, like, they know what I want. But I like to mix it up every once in a while and change genres, as we've talked about numerous times before. Right now, I mean, I don't know what I'm on to right now. Step-sis porn is always really good. And I don't think they're actually stepsister and brother. I mean, they could be.
They could be.
But it's not likely because generally when I see their mom or their dad or whatever, I've recognized them from other videos. So, I mean, I don't think it's a family unit that is something we should believe, maybe. I think it's all for show, but I don't know. I don't... They could be. I mean, in the porn industry, do they just, like, pass around people and get married randomly so they have,
yes,
like, their daughter's or son or the dad? Like, stepdaughter, too. Like, if you got married to a woman and you wanted to bone her daughter... It's a plausible scenario, I would think.
Better than marrying a woman and having a daughter with her that you wanted to bone.
You know what, Adam? Once again, thank you.
It's the
that's
clarity.
Brilliant. Yeah.
It's the clarity that I bring to the table.
That is it right there. You know, that is the difference. That is the difference between going from, like, porn-worthy to just skeezy right there.
Yeah.
That's the line. You actually just illustrated the line better than anyone ever has, I think.
I mean, Lord knows there's enough daddy-daughter stuff out there anyways, but...
Oh, gross.
Yeah. So, this is probably more what I was looking for when I talk about Eddie.
President, nobody knows what he would do. He doesn't know what he would do.
Did Mr. Trump go too far in your wife?
He did. I never tasted cotton until I was an adult. And it wasn't that good. But,
is this one of those well-placed censorship things?
Yes.
Husband will remain focused on only one thing. This beautiful country that he loves so much.
She puts the cunt in country.
Me from behind. I was extremely careful with my hair.
I'm working hard, and I intend to keep working as hard as I can until
that's beautiful.
Last door clocks.
That's beautiful.
And one of the qualities that I've always admired about Ted, really since the day we met, is how incredibly unfuckable he is.
Unfuckable.
It almost felt like watching Mom and Dad. It got very uncomfortable up close.
Did anybody last night?
That's the best one right there. Did anybody sleep a wink last night? Did anybody suck a dick last night? That's such a great edit. That is, folks, if you want to edit audio,
Yeah.
That is how you do it right there.
Yes, absolutely.
That is brilliant. Those well-placed censorship things are fucking amazing.
So there's a comedian I saw, and I wear the shirt all the time. You got to go see Steve Sable.
Okay.
Not from NFL Films.
Oh, Steve Sable from NFL Films. What is it? Which wind is it? The November? No, the November wind's a raider. Is it October?
The autumn wind is a pirate.
Yeah, the autumn wind is a pirate.
That's classic too.
Steve Sable with NFL Films. You know how he got that job, right? His dad was like the commissioner. Same with Joe Buck. You got it. Oh, we play this in
the autumn wind is a pirate. Blustering in from sea.
This actually makes me like the hair on the back of my neck standing up right now. Like we play this with Thumb Tailgater.
You want to go and like watch football?
Fuck yeah. I'm happy. Unlike Eddie, I'm happy we're back to football at Thumb Tailgater Sports. Like I can honestly say this. Friday night we did the game in Ubley. We sat in a booth, and it felt like home. And I don't mean home like I didn't grow up there. But the energy, the everything, like it felt like the before time. And it was about the football. It was about the kids. It was about the game. It was about everything. And it was a great broadcast. Like it got my enthusiasm like just riled right up.
You know, you were part of this discussion too that was on Facebook about like coaches and stuff. And
right.
You know, oh, this coach is great. This coach is bad. At the high school level, there is no such thing. If a coach is there putting time in to other people's kids,
right?
Whether they have their own kids on the team or not. I mean, I've coached a long time,
right?
For free. This year, I have no kids in the program at all. I still want to coach. I don't have as much time in because I'm not hauling my kids around to stuff. But I'm still, you know, I do the schedule for the league. I do, you know,
as far as coaches go, like for varsity football. I respect probably 80% of them, but some of them are just on a whole nother level. Like there's a coach up north in a school here that's been there forever, and he not only coaches his young men, but he molds them into men because he covers other things, not just football related with them, like life lessons that he works on them with because he says he wants to mold a generation of fine young men, not just football players.
Right. Well, and you know, I've coached wrestling. This will be my 7th season.
Right.
Coaching wrestling, varsity. I coached assistant coach for varsity back from like 97 to 2000. Coached my kids and a whole bunch of kids up through the youth program and stuff. And it's not. You want to create. It's awesome to create a kid who's successful at wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can't teach them to be successful
in life,
then you haven't done your job, and it's.
And what does it matter? But I just, you know, a lot of people, I get asked once in a while, like, oh, high school sports, and I'm like, you don't realize how rewarding it is when somebody comes up to you and they say that they're happy that you're broadcasting those games. It's an outlet. It's coverage for the kids. Do you know how many of these kids are just ecstatic that their names get mentioned?
Yeah.
You know?
And they'll go back and listen to it, and just to hear their name called, or, you know, just to relive.
Right.
You know, it's such an emotional thing to play as a kid in high school sports. I mean,
and you don't realize it at the time because when you're in high school, your world's so small that you don't, and that's all you know, that you don't realize that in that instant it's gone, and when it's gone, it's never ever going to be back.
Well, you lived it.
Yeah, of course.
You played your last football game.
I did, and I remember
played my last football game. I can remember just hanging out on the field with a couple of the other players.
We sat on the field for an hour afterwards.
Yeah.
And most of us bawling because we knew.
Yeah, that was the last time I was going to put pads on.
That wasn't the last time I put pads on, but that was the last game I played in. I mean, I was at Saginaw Valley, but I was on the practice squad, so I didn't play in a game, but still, yeah.
But yeah, it that realization that, all right, this part of my journey is done.
And you think that's your whole life, too. It's
Oh,
weird.
yeah, at that time, well, it is. At that time, it is.
Like, and then you get your heart just crushed, or what you think is crushed, equivalent to it, in high school, and then you experience real life, and you realize that was more of an infatuation.
You know, when I played, we were my junior and senior year. We were 7-2 and 6-3. Didn't make the playoffs either year because they didn't have the rules.
It was hard to make.
It was hard to make the playoffs, and we'd only lost, like my junior year, we'd only lost to Harbor Beach, who went to the state finals.
Right.
You know, we had a blowout game with them. It was just an offensive insanity.
Virtual insanity. All right.
But, you know, it was all of that. You like lived and died
right
every game, you know.
And it was that. It was, and, you know, for me, like my senior year, like I fancy myself as a somewhat intelligent individual. I was the guy who would memorize the playbook for every position player on offense on the field. And our quarterback, who, here's a great callback, he's the guy who married the girl that I had a crush on in high school, the princess who I supposedly dented her car. He didn't remember shit. So basically in the huddle, if people didn't know what they were supposed to do, they had to ask me, and they did.
Yeah.
So
I was not that guy.
And I was an offensive lineman. I was a big ugly. I was a guy in the trenches just pushing people around going, you know, oohing and on and wondering, you know, and enamored with the wonder of the tire, the wheel, and fire, you know.
I never lost to Deckerville.
I never lost to Sandusky.
And I never beat Harbor Beach.
I never lost to Sandusky 3 straight years, and the only team that beat me twice was USA, and that's it. Yeah.
USA was pesky.
Yeah.
They were tough.
I lost to Harbor Beach once and beat them twice.
So,
which the coach I mentioned earlier, Troy Shelke, he's awesome there.
Yeah. Oh.
He's everything I would want for my own son to have as a coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Just selfless guy. He's out there for the right reasons. You know, even the coaches that get paid, like I volunteer all my time.
Right.
Our program doesn't get funded by the school at all. So a lot of times I'm well in the hole by the end of the season.
Right.
But
it's almost like having a podcast.
Almost. Well, yeah, probably worse. Maybe even. So, like, you know, going in and knowing that even if I was paid $1,500 for the year, I'm going to make about 50 cents an hour. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely.
By the time you figure the time spent in practice,
but
all day on Saturday.
If you're like me, just like doing the thumb tailgater stuff, you wouldn't trade it for the world, though.
No, absolutely not. I love doing it. You know, my wife at first, when I was like, she goes, "Are you going to keep coaching after the boys are done with school?" I'm like, "I'd like to."
Stay involved somehow. Yeah,
you know, and I'm like, I'd really like to, because I enjoy it. I feel like it. You know, I absolutely loved wrestling when I was in school. It wasn't my best sport. My best sport was always baseball. I got injured in baseball, couldn't throw anymore, but I could still wrestle. So I jumped into that, both feet, and dedicated. I liked wrestling more, but baseball is my best sport. Football, I did to get in shape for wrestling, which was always a complete failure because it does not get you in shape for wrestling.
No, it's apples and oranges, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a totally different type of conditioning, but at least I wasn't sitting on my duff, you know. And I like for kids to play. You know, I like our kids to play more than one sport.
We talk about that, and even the MHSA has PA, public service announcements about multiple sports helps. It builds coordination. It builds, you know, some people specialize. And unless you're a generational talent or one of those ones you know is going to make it, don't specialize. Like, I tell my kids, play the sport you want. They love soccer. My son thinks he's going to play basketball. I said, whatever you want to play. He's like, well, you were a football player. You want me to play football? I said, only if you enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, my oldest played football. Didn't play past his sophomore year. Dedicated himself to wrestling because
and now he does it in college and loves it.
He does it in college and loves it, and it's paying for his college. I haven't shelled out a dime for him.
Isn't that beautiful, too?
I have a hard time. I wish he'd have played more sports. I wish he'd have stayed involved in football and things like that, but kind of hard to argue with the results he had.
Absolutely. 100.
So it's one of those things
that's a cliche. 100.
Yeah.
No. You are correct.
100% correct.
You are 100% correct.
But he's into his junior year. He's an honor student. He had a 3.97 last semester through all the turmoil that was last semester.
So he's doing it right. He's doing it all, yeah.
So he learned so much from the dedication that it took to be an athlete and to, he started researching and buying into that well ahead of time.
Yeah.
And I know we're not doing anything even close to comedy right now, but, but it's one of those things that I feel pretty strong about. We're being taunted.
Yeah.
Go
ahead. Wrap up your thought.
But it's one of those things. If you have kids and you want to get them involved in something sports, I don't know. There's something about it, win or lose, however they do. Now, my youngest son, he didn't really. He gained a lot from wrestling as far as like mentality wise and life lessons.
But he's wired different. You can have two different kids and they have so many different thoughts, and they're just.
He had no interest in being a. He worked hard. Don't get me wrong. He worked his tail off, but he didn't have interest in being a state champion. He didn't have an interest in being.
Right.
He had interest in doing it for fun, being part of a team, and that was fine.
And that's good.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing as far as if you're a parent, if you're a mentor, a teacher, anything. Tell people to pursue their passions. Kids, tell them don't pigeonhole them. Don't tell them they have to do something. In life is short as it is. Do what makes you happy, and that's it. And that's what we should be. That's what we should be teaching, coaching, mentoring kids to do. Do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
My son always talks about what he wants to do when he grows up, and he's like, "Well, do I have to go to college?" I said, "No, but you have to pursue something."
Yeah.
So what do you want to do? He thinks he wants to be a chef. I said, "That's brilliant.
Absolutely.
Do the best you can if you're passionate about it." My daughter insists she wants to be an engineer, and I'm just like, well, engineering sucks, but I'm not going to lie. If you're a woman in engineering, it doesn't suck as much as it does for me, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's having two kids gives you a unique perspective as to what the vast differences in what two people can need to be happy.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that's the key. And that's what my kids are always wondering why I always ask them if they're okay, if they need anything, or what's going on, and if they're happy. And I say, because I want you to be happy. Like, I will do whatever I can to make sure that you're happy, and I always will. And I want you to, and I don't want anybody to tell you can't do something because you have to do this or you have to do that or this is what's in the script. Pursue your passions, because I've been the guy that I'm in a profession that financially I do very well, but I'm not happy, and I've not been happy for a while.
Well, it's strange because I know a few people in your profession, and they all kind of have the same mindset on the profession, because I think when you're doing the type of work that you do, after a while, whatever passion for it you had tends to fade.
And I had it. Like, I remember the passion. I remember it when I was working for Boeing. Fuck, I had it. Like, for years I had it, and I loved it. And now it's just been beat down, and corporate's won. Corporate America has won. It's the same old shit, different day. It's some asshole that doesn't know nearly as much as I know telling me what the fuck I should know or should be doing, and having not a clue how manufacturing works, how machining works, how basic principles of physics and engineering work, and these are the people that are bossing me around, and it gets tiresome,
Well, and I think had I not taken like a 12-year hiatus from doing the type of work that I do with IT and things like that, I would be just as burnt out.
Yeah.
Because there does come a saturation point where you've kind of done everything.
Yeah.
And
that's what I said today. Like, a project came up, I'm like, oh shit, same old shit, different day. I did this fucking 18 years ago,
Yeah. Yeah, and it becomes it becomes tough to deal with all of it.
Just so much. And this is ultimately what I'd love to do. and I'm just going to keep plugging away. I thank you for pushing me and inspiring me, because this all came about last, September, October, when you're like, let's just do the podcast.
Yeah, we're almost going to be a year to the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I will look up here in just a second and see when before we get off the air here, to see when our first podcast actually ran, or when we recorded it, because I did it on this machine. And I can look that up.
You should. Do you have another thought coming here? Because I have to use the restroom soon.
Well, we're going to have to end this one quick.
Are we wrapping up? We're over an hour, right?
Oh, we're at like an hour and 15.
Oh, we're good. We're golden. We've given you I don't know if it's quality content. There was some humor in there. It got really serious this last half hour, though.
The last 15 minutes or so.
It's okay.
But yeah, I mean, it can't all be jokes, people.
Oh, even I'm not that good.
No. Sometimes we just got to go into the zone.
But if the thing you'll find out about me, and I believe that about you too, Adam, is we're brutally honest. I'm honest. I don't lie about shit. I tell it how it is, and I tell it how I see it, and that's it. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm not going to apologize for being me.
I lie constantly. Adam's not even my name.
I know. God damn.
So
wow, that's a bombshell right there.
Yeah. My real name is Adam. But I spell it differently.
I know.
I go A-D-A-M instead of A-D-A-M.
I thought it was going to be A-T-O-M.
No.
No.
You would be wrong.
You are wrong. So what do you have for us in our closing thoughts?
Well, the closing thoughts was I was going to try and find our first episode.
Tune in on Thursday to find out when our first episode was.
Yeah. That would be a good time.
In the meantime, he's Adam Filkins. I'm Phil Nickel. PNA Podcast Express. PineappleNippleArsehole@gmail.com. PNA Podcast Express @gmail.com. We love you all. Please share our podcast with people. Old Guys Rockin'. Let people know we're affiliated somewhat with them a little bit. Anyway, make good choices.